Sometimes I'll just whip up the whipped cream and I'll eat it as a meal or a snack. I'll just have like a bowl of whipped cream. One of the reasons you might want to fat fast is because it can release a hormone in your body called the FGF21 hormone. It boosts your metabolism and it helps your body to burn more fats. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Carnivore Revolution. I'm Serena and today we're going to talk about fat fasting again. I still get lots of questions about this and I don't want fat fasting to become my identity and the only thing I talk about here, but there are just still so many questions around it. So the reason you would do something like fat fasting is to eliminate everything else. So that means no carbs and no protein, or as little as possible of both of those. And the reason we call it fat fasting is you're fasting from everything except fat. And I know that's confusing because when you're fasting, you're not eating anything. So I get where that confusion is, but it's just something we call it. We call it, water fasting. Some people do juice fasts, which I don't recommend, but some people do fat fasting. Some people will sardine fast. I've done a lot of sardine fasting. Some people will do egg fasting. So when we say that, we're saying that we're eating only that thing. Okay, so I am fat fasting for the first week of this month. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Today is day 3 of my fat fast and I'm feeling really good. I forgot to check my ketones and my glucose this morning. I was going to share that with you every day and I forgot to do it today. So I'll definitely get that tomorrow before I eat, but I feel amazing. I'm down a couple of pounds. My pants are looser. I definitely feel like what I'm doing is working. One of the reasons you might want to fat fast is because it can release a hormone in your body called the FGF21 hormone. And what that does is it boosts your metabolism and it helps your body to burn more fats. So that's why I'm doing it. I am still up about 8 or 9 pounds and I would really love to get that off. So that's what I'll be working on. I'm hoping that most of it comes off this month. My calories will be pretty high every day and I'm hoping that it still works. We're talking, high for people who are dieting would be, 1,800, 2,000 calories. Most people would say that's too many calories. But on something like an egg fast, a fat fast, or a sardine fast, you can eat that much and you can still lose weight. So we'll see how this week goes, but I'm really excited about it. So with a fat fast, the things that you're eating are things that are only fat or as close to only fat as you can get. So you can do lots of ribeye trimmings. I used to get those from my butcher a lot. They kind of turn my stomach now, so I'm not going to be doing any of that. But they're pretty inexpensive. I was getting them for maybe $1.99 a pound, and you can take those ribeye fat trimmings home and put them in the air fryer and get them really good and crispy, put some salt on them. You could put some butter on them. Those are typically going to have a tiny bit of protein because a lot of the pieces you're going to eat are going to have just a little bit of meat left on them. So you don't worry about that. You just don't want to eat, a steak. You want to get as little of the protein as you can that's attached to the fat. You can also do egg yolks, which do have a little bit of protein in them. So some people will not eat those when they're doing a fat fast. I don't feel like I have a problem with it. So I will eat 3 or 4 or 6 egg yolks for breakfast, cooked in a lot of butter and just not worry about it. That seems like that works for me. You can also have lots of heavy cream, and I know that's a little bit controversial because some people say, oh, but you shouldn't be having that much dairy, or that much dairy, some people say causes inflammation or keeps them from losing weight. And that is possible that can happen to some people, but I think that it's worth a try. It's worth trying lots of the dairy while you're doing the fat fast and just kind of see how you feel and see where that goes because you never know. And typically for me, cheese does that to me. If I eat too much cheese, it keeps me from losing weight, keeps me a little bit inflamed. So I think cheese is different than heavy cream for some reason. And there are days where I'll go through about a quart of heavy cream. So the ways that I will use the heavy cream on a fat fast is I will just drink it, or I'll drink it in a decaffeinated latte that I make at home. I'll steam up that heavy cream and turn it into a decaffeinated latte or a cappuccino. Sometimes I'll just whip up the whipped cream and I'll eat it as a meal or a snack. I'll just have like a bowl of whipped cream. I actually have a frother that's strong enough to whip my whipped cream, and so I do that a lot as a meal or a snack. I also will turn the heavy cream with some egg yolks in it into kind of an eggnog. I'll froth that up and drink that, or I'll use basically that same mixture and it doesn't, the ratio of egg yolks doesn't really matter. You just add some egg yolks to your heavy cream and don't worry about it. A couple for a cup is really good. It makes it even creamier and richer than it normally is. And I can pour that into my ice cream maker with a little bit of vanilla extract and turn that into Carnivore ice cream. You can also take about those same ratios, maybe add an extra egg yolk, and you can actually put that in the oven and cook it and turn it into like a creme brulee or a custard kind of dish. It is so good like that. I'm also having a butter milkshake for the last couple of days where I put the heavy cream and the ice into my Ninja, and then I melt some butter in the microwave and add a little bit of water and froth it. It emulsifies the water and the butter and mixes them together well enough that it doesn't separate when you pour it over the ice. If you don't do that, you're going to end up with kind of a butter chip milkshake because the butter will harden again once you pour it over the ice. So that's how you can keep that from happening. And yesterday I did have some cod livers. I had kind of forgotten that those were even in the cabinet, but I had some cod livers. They're not my favorite, but they're also not terrible. They really just taste like a super smoked fish. It's the texture that'll get you. It's very mushy, but it's fairly good. So if you can get past that part of it and eat those, that's another great thing. It's kind of like having a can of sardines or a can of tuna is how much is in there, and it has 52 grams of fats in that one little can. It also has 10 grams of protein per serving, so it does have a little bit more protein than you would typically do on a fat fast, but if you're desperate for something besides heavy cream and butter, then it's definitely a good thing that you can try. You could just have half the can one day and half the can the next day if that's something that you want to do. And then of course I'll be having lots of butter on this fat fast. This morning for breakfast, I made myself 6 egg yolks. I scrambled the egg yolks in a bowl first and added some heavy cream to them and then fried them in butter in the pan. That made the egg yolks softer, not as hard or dense as egg yolks can sometimes be. And sometimes you need that different texture when you're eating a lot of something because you can kind of get that like palate fatigue from eating the same things over and over again. So that's definitely something to think about. So I think that's it. I think that pretty much covers fat fasting. I hope you guys try it. Let me know in the comments if you have and what kind of foods you eat when you're fat fasting, because maybe you do it differently than I do and maybe you have really great success with it and we want to share that with everyone, okay? So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It makes a huge difference on that algorithm. I would really appreciate it. So thank you for watching. Make sure you come back for more videos. I'll see you next time.